Ukrainian armed forces forced the Russian occupiers to retreat by destroying enemy armored vehicles in the Novopavlovsk direction. This was reported by the Operational Strategic Troop Grouping. According to Ukrainian soldiers, the Russian army attempted to assault the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine near Velika Novosilka. Fire damage was inflicted on the invaders' columns, resulting in the destruction of 3 tanks, 3 armored fighting vehicles, and 1 buggy. Meanwhile, on the Kupiansk direction, the enemy assaulted the positions of Ukrainian military in the areas of Petropavlivka, Piszczane and Zarizove. On the Kramatorsk direction, the Ukrainian armed forces hold the defense in the area of Chasiv Yar. On the Pokrovsk direction, attempts by the Russian occupiers to displace Ukrainian soldiers from their positions in the areas of Malinivka, Tarasivka, Mirolubivka and Lisivka were repelled.
The fact that there is currently some degree of stagnation in the areas of Pokrovsk and Mirnograd, I mean the stagnation of Russian coup on actions, is also confirmed by some bloggers of Russian republics. If just literally a week ago they were talking with incredible enthusiasm about the advancement of the Russian army, although the enthusiasm was quite relative because the advancement was on a tactical level. If we talk about 1,000 meters in a day, now they are talking about intense battles and the absence of advancement of the Russian army. This indicates that the additional forces and resources that were redeployed by the Ukrainian General Staff to these front sections are in fact demonstrating their effectiveness and the corresponding result. What's next? The only factor that will influence this situation is dynamics. The factor of resources accordingly of the Russian occupiers and the Ukrainian defense forces. It is obvious that the Ukrainian army is currently working to deplete Russian military resources as much as possible.
The invaders are trying to bypass and encircle Pokrovsk in the Donetsk region by cutting off paths to it in order to leave the armed forces of Ukraine without resource supplies. This was reported by Viktor Trehab, the spokesperson for the Hortitsia Operational Strategic Troop Group. The defense forces of Ukraine are striking Russian infrastructure to slow their advance. At the same time, according to the spokesperson, the Russian occupiers do not have a significant advantage for conducting combat operations near Pokrovsk.
Besides the Pokrovsk direction you mentioned, I would highlight 2 more in terms of dynamics on the battlefield. It's the Lyman and the Kupiansk directions. Why there? I think that here and now the enemy believing they will be operating for quite a long period of time, but at least the first half of the current year is establishing a bridgehead for the advancement of their troops towards Sloviansk, Kramatorsk. And the movement we are currently observing specifically in the Kupinsk area and in the Liman area is kind of the approach of actions already in the direction from Liman to Slaviansk.
On Kramer too.
The commander-in-chief, Alexander Sirski, outlined the priorities of the armed forces of Ukraine for February 2025 following the meeting of the armed forces of Ukraine. According to him, the main efforts will focus on holding the lines and preventing enemy advancement, enhancing the training of military personnel, and increasing the drone component.
We continue to effectively destroy enemy military targets to reduce their strike potential. We are destroying the enemy both on Ukrainian territory. Among the priorities are the operation in the Kursk region and striking military targets deep within the aggressor country. On the ground, we are primarily reinforcing the units already defending the front line with personnel and equipment.
At the same time, warriors from the Special Operations Center A of the Security Service of Ukraine struck a rare radar station for the Russian Bukem missile system. Also, the fighters of the unit shared footage of their successful combat work. January 2025 became one of the bloodiest months for the Russian army, reported the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Personnel losses reached 48,240 military personnel. Conditionally, this number is more 3 motorized rifle divisions of the Russian army. Throughout the entire period of the large-scale invasion, the Russians sustained more losses only in December 2024. That is 48,670 invaders. In total, the Russian army has lost over 841,000 military personnel since the beginning of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, in the past day, defense forces eliminated 1,300 Russian soldiers. They also managed to destroy 12 tanks, 18 armored combat vehicles, and 51 artillery systems. Ukrainian military destroyed over 90 units of enemy vehicles and special equipment.